you really hate Sean Combs.
Why would they be thinking that?
Because of the things that you post on Instagram,
Yeah,
because of the...
Look at this. And let's stop for a second and do say that I hated him enough to hire his kids. And we've never done anything to each other. So it's just competitive energy and things that you say about other artists while you're in hip-hop culture.
I go on my Twitter and I see people saying, you look like you have AIDS, you should go die. I don't understand how I dedicated 22 years of my life to my fans, and now they turn on me.
Do you regret ever getting involved in...
I didn't have a choice. It got bad when I was about 15 years old, because when I did MTV Cribs, the day that I had to go show off that house, my mom and my dad told me, we're getting a divorce, you still have to go do this. I had to go show off all the stuff my whole life that was going to be taken away from me.
The FBI is finally looking into the alleged murder of Aaron Carter. The details of Aaron Carter's murder have creepy similarities with the death of Diddy's ex-wife, Kim Porter.
Aaron Carter begged for help in front of the world. He begged for financial support to help get him a private security team to keep him alive. He said on numerous occasions, if anything happens to me, I promise you, I am not vital. And no one said anything.
Developing news tonight. Pop star Aaron Carter.
They go to something like it.
The 34-year-old was found dead.
Has died at the age of 34.
Sing it loud!
Authorities say he was found in his bathtub.
He had been grappling with substance abuse for years.
I mean, this is my first podcast interview ever.
What?
I was Aaron's twin. We have our own bond. I'm just at a place now where I want to tell our truth, change the narrative for my family. We were just such like playful kids. There was the 5 of us. There was a lot of love. Nick, he was discovered by my mom in the backyard. Oh my gosh, like he can sing. That's how he joined the Backstreet Boys. Aaron really idolized Nick. He wanted to be exactly like him. At age 7, he started singing. Working like an adult, innocence stripped away from him. Things were really chaotic at home. No boundaries. Divorce was like brewing. And then we all got in.
When 50 Cent releases a documentary claiming to expose what was long hidden in the shadows, the conversation instantly shifts from rumor to reckoning. Suddenly, speculation gives way to uncomfortable questions about accountability, why critical truths remained buried for so long, and who benefited from the silence. By tracing the meteoric rise and tragic decline of Aaron Carter alongside the immense influence surrounding Sean Diddy Combs, the film moves beyond simple retrospection. Instead, it challenges viewers to confront responsibility itself, urging audiences to examine not only what was known, but who deliberately chose to look away. With familiar figures such as Justin Bieber appearing across intersecting timelines, the documentary paints a wider portrait of an industry where power was often protected and dissenting voices struggled to be heard. This story is no longer about isolated controversies or individual missteps. It is about a system that repeatedly placed reputation above reality. And if the warning signs were always present, the most unsettling question remains. Why did it take so long for anyone to connect the pieces and demand the truth?
Your father and losing him, and then yet earlier you acknowledged that your father had put a to your head and fired it.
Sean Diddy Combs has been swimming in both criminal and civil law.
What? Wow. Talking about a transition. Man.
Ever since he got indicted, and the storm doesn't seem to be letting up anytime soon. Recently, another wave of accusations has just been leveled at him, this time a staggering 25 lawsuits alleging inappropriate relationships with younger individuals. And while the whispers about his past connections with Justin Bieber and Usher during their early careers have been making rounds in the past months, a new shocking name has entered the conversation: Aaron Carter. Aaron, who allegedly first met Diddy at just 9 years old, is now being linked to allegations that have sparked heated discussions.
When 50 Cent structures his documentary around what was intentionally kept out of public view, he does far more than revisit old rumors. He reconstructs a forgotten timeline. Piece by piece, the film reveals how pivotal moments were quietly pushed aside, reshaping public memory through omission rather than truth. Here, silence itself becomes evidence, compelling viewers to question why critical stories were delayed, who held the power to control the narrative, and how unchecked influence was allowed to thrive in the shadows for so long.
heard it all, another layer of darkness gets peeled back. With the way things are unfolding for Diddy, this might just turn into the scandal of the century.
Aaron Carter! I just want to make everyone happy and just love and do my music. Do you honestly think that's the death?
You know, I know who Aaron Carter is, but I don't at the same time. I forgot what it was that he actually did. But I believe he came from one of those, was it like a Disney show or something like that? I believe so. Because he has a brother, yeah.
Finishing up a meth head and a crackhead, teaching my niece her first dance moves, making music on my bed.
Aaron Carter was once the golden boy of pop, a wildly talented child star whose meteoric rise to fame was nothing short of remarkable. He was only 9 years old when he dropped his self-titled debut album, captivating audiences everywhere and securing his spot as one of the biggest child stars to ever grace the music industry. Carter was tipped to do great things and have a long, successful career, but as bright as his star burned, it faded just as fast. Fame at such a young age can take its toll, but there was so much more that contributed to the downfall of Aaron's career. Several insider sources have suggested that Aaron may have been a victim of manipulation and
By revisiting the turbulent rise and heartbreaking decline of child stardom, the film presents Aaron Carter not as a fleeting headline, but as a powerful case study of fame without protection. It reveals a world where talent was celebrated in the spotlight while meaningful support quietly disappeared behind the scenes. Framing visibility as both opportunity and vulnerability, the documentary underscores a difficult truth. Success alone was never enough to safeguard those at its center. And if silence is never truly neutral, the story ultimately forces a deeper, more unsettling question. Who benefited most from allowing that silence to endure for so long?
Holding up.
I'm doing good, man.
You doing good?
Yeah, staying strong. It's been 8 months of a lot of turmoil and back and forth, but at this point I think that I've got it under control. I'm doing everything that I need to do, and just focusing on my music, which is what I love. It's my passion, and really just taking care of my aftercare, and
which consists of what? The care. You're doing what you have to do. So what does that mean to you?
Basically, a lot of people in the news, there's hundreds of posts from media, and they all said, that I'm 165 pounds, and when I checked into rehab last time, I was 117. Same weight that Michael Jackson died at, actually. And
117 pounds.
Yeah. I got my weight up and I kept it the whole time. I've managed to turn my life around. I'd be able to purchase houses, flip houses, be a real estate mogul, do touring after all the...
So you're buying and flipping houses, huh?
Yeah.
And I see that this one is
for sale right now.
Is up for sale. This one's up for sale.
Yeah, so Christy Olympus is my she's like my big sister. But she's my real estate agent. She got me to my first house, which is only like about a mile away from here.
Yeah.
And then flipped that one from 420 to 620, got $200,000 profit. I bought the...
Aaron Carter's ascent to fame began long before he could develop the emotional defenses needed to survive an industry that often profits from youth while postponing accountability. The documentary powerfully contrasts his early success with his later struggles, revealing how access and privilege can appear as opportunity, until they quietly evolve into dependence. This message is unmistakably stark. When a child's value is measured solely by performance, warning signs are too easily dismissed as pressure instead of recognized as danger. In doing so, the film challenges viewers to confront the moment when ambition overtakes responsibility, and the obligation to protect is sacrificed in the relentless pursuit of success.
Going on with that, they look at the they look at the stuff. They look at this right here, bro. First and foremost, all the companies that you have, you understand, and I know some people have trust and have companies in their kid's name. This man never put anything in his name. Why? It's either his mother, his son, his kid's name and everything like that. He had 18 companies that was giving him some kind of revenue. Why is nothing really in his name? Is there some kind of tax evasion? They looking at that. You understand? You got people in the industry that's been saying for years, this man is having sex with underage. So now the federal government is looking at that like, yo, when is somebody gonna come forward? We got this information, this alleged information, but nobody's willing to come forward. Then they go on and say, yo, Shakur Stewart mysteriously dead. Supposed to be a self-inflicted wound. Person that had everything going for him in their life. Kim Porter dead. Somebody's car gets blown up. This guy is walking around threatening other actors, people. Somebody got to get involved in it. If it ain't the state, let it be the feds. Somebody got to stop him. He lucky that God given him the opportunity to be stopped while he's alive, then have to go to hell and face that shit. He got a chance to repent now, change his life.
You mentioned minors, and a lot of people have been trying to drag Justin Bieber into this situation because there's a lot of suspect looking videos with Diddy and Bieber in it, and they're making a lot of allegations.
Same way they made allegations about Usher.
The film repeatedly returns to one central theme: proximity, who stood closest to power, who controlled access to opportunity, and how influence is rarely a matter of coincidence. Sean Diddy Combs is portrayed not as a final judgment, but as a recurring presence woven through mentorships, elite social circles, and the currency of status itself. Rather than making direct accusations, the documentary carefully maps relationships, revealing how authority often moves through informal networks rather than official titles or agreements. In doing so, it raises a deeper challenge. If responsibility exists in the spaces between roles and reputations, then institutions must confront how accountability can truly be identified and ultimately enforced.
MTV Cribs, the day that I had to go show off that house, my mom and my dad told me, we're getting a divorce. You still have to go do this. I had to go show off all the stuff, my whole life, that was going to be taken away from me.
The FBI is finally looking into the alleged murder of Aaron Carter. The details of Aaron Carter's murder have creepy similarities with the death of Diddy's ex-wife, Kim Porter.
Aaron Carter begged for help in front of the world. He begged for finance.
One of the documentary's most haunting and sobering threads centers on Aaron Carter and his repeated attempts to reach out for help. Rather than framing these moments as spectacle or sensational downfall, the film presents them with restraint, quiet, unflinching records of fear, isolation, and a growing realization that something was deeply wrong. Each scene builds a powerful sense of urgency, revealing a young star increasingly aware that danger was not distant, but uncomfortably close.
From that Limonian.
Yes.
Just like Kim, just like Brittany Murphy. That Limonian ain't no joke. Hey, every time somebody get to telling the truth about someone, whoever's been lying, they just say a little prayer and then the Limonian comes.
Real life. It ain't real life. Real life street stars. You know what time it is.
Oh no, it's all good. But Uncle Ron, Beyonce's ex-bodyguard, who threatened to expose them. Yeah, threatened to expose them, I believe, in 2023. is deceased. He's passed away.
Allegedly, that's what they are saying.
Allegedly, that is what they are saying. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, they said he died from that pneumonia.
Yes.
You know, just like Kim, just like Brittany Murphy. That pneumonia ain't no joke. Hey, every time somebody get to telling the truth about someone, whoever's been lying, they just say a little prayer and then the pneumonia come, and then yeah. A lot of people been getting that pneumonia. I'm surprised they didn't try to say that Liam.
The story ultimately places its moral weight on everyone involved. Audiences watched as platforms amplified deeply vulnerable moments, yet meaningful intervention never came, revealing a system in which suffering could be visible to millions without triggering genuine protection. When distress is broadcast so openly and repeatedly, the documentary confronts viewers with an uncomfortable but necessary question. Who truly carries the responsibility to step forward and act when the warning signs are impossible to ignore?
But you know, he went over that balcony. But the thing is, they say he went on his own. But there's two other things that I considered as I speculate. This is all my speculation. None of this is true yet. But what if somebody told him he had to jump off?
Man.
What if he would have rather jumped and be tap out?
Right.
You know? Or maybe imminent danger was there. And
it's alleged that
only escape.
Right. It's alleged that he had Tootsie.
Oh no, that's not alleged. That is a fact. There, Rook. It was found in his system in his autopsy. That's not alleged.
That's crazy.
The Tootsie, Yep.
Jack, Liam Payne, his fall. There's a lot of alleged things they're saying that happened.
On multiple levels, his fall.
There's a lot of speculations.
Personal life.
Right.
Health.
What is his ties to Diddy?
I mean, all of those kids from that era, even the British bands, they all partied with Diddy. I'm just... It's hard for me.
By widening its lens, 50 Cent's documentary connects deeply personal stories to a broader industry culture that quietly normalized minors navigating adult spaces. The film reveals how young performers were often guided through powerful circles where boundaries were assumed to exist but were rarely enforced. Rather than isolated failures, it portrays a system built on trust instead of protection, one that allowed vulnerability to linger within environments defined by influence and authority.
Invested in what's happening to Liam Payne right now because I haven't gotten over what happened to Nick. Nick's brother Aaron Carter.
Right.
A lot of people keep forgetting Aaron Carter was begging for help, begging for independent financing, begging for security. He made it very clear Sony was out to get him, just like Michael Jackson told him they would be. And right around that time, his brother had just been accused of raping one of the girls from making the band, Diddy's entity. And they were trying to make all of that go away. And Aaron called his brother out. And then the next thing you know, he said, if anything happens to me, I did not do this to myself. And then he was gone, and they said he took his own life, just like they're saying about Liam Payne. Why doesn't anyone want to see the same thing happening over and over and over again? Because if Diddy is responsible for Liam Payne, and he is without a doubt responsible for Aaron Carter.
Shout out really out of street stars, nigga. Move.
References to Justin Bieber appear not as accusations or direct comparisons, but as contextual markers that illuminate a recurring pathway the industry has created for young talent. By placing these moments within a broader timeline, the documentary highlights patterns that seem to echo across generations. And when the same trajectories continue to resurface, the film challenges viewers to confront a deeper question. Can such repetition truly be dismissed as coincidence, or does it reveal something far more systemic beneath the surface?
You know what I'm saying? It's like 150 hugs.
You're a public person as well, and there was one instance in Harlem, and his reaction when those people
went away.
Got in
his car and said, I feel like I need to wash, like I'm dirt. That was, it shows you his character.
Was that the reason for including it?
Yeah, I mean, what's the odds that you would do that in front of the camera? Like that's one of the moments where he forgot he was on tape.
How do you respond to people who say that it's more about the disdain that you have for Sean Combs than it is for giving the victims a platform?
What they consider a pre-existing beef, right, for 20 years, right, is me being uncomfortable with him suggesting that he takes me shopping, or I looked at it like it was like a tester, like maybe you'll come play with me, type of thing, right? And it's not personal.
I think it's important to also let people know that the show is not completely the perspectives of people that did not like Sean. We weren't trying to just get the highlights, the salacious details, you know, that the real goal was to storytell. And not everyone needed to have an allegation to be a part of this project.
The 4-part series also features 2 jurors from Combs' trial who are speaking for the first time about how they reached their mixed verdict, finding Combs guilty of 2 prostitution offenses, but clear of racketeering and sex trafficking charges, both sharing their thoughts on the relationship between Combs and singer Cassie. Juror 75 describing them as 2 people in love, and Juror 160 saying in part, domestic violence wasn't one of the charges. Cassie, is she a victim in all this?
I believe Cassie's a victim in all this because she came in as she's like 18, like 19 years old in the very beginning. After a while, over time, you condition for it.
The goal of what the film is trying to do is to let the audience kind of come in to ask questions like, were their decisions colored by certain things, and who got the benefit of the doubt, you know, in that courtroom?
Do you think that hip-hop culture was on trial as much as Sean Combs was?
Look, if I didn't say anything, you would interpret it as
The documentary presents silence not as coincidence, but as a system sustained by loyalty, fear, and the relentless protection of reputation. It reveals how many adults surrounding young artists may have understood enough to sense danger, yet remained quiet while outwardly claiming ignorance. In doing so, the film paints a portrait of shared responsibility, one where no single figure carries all the blame, yet harm is allowed to continue unchecked. The result is a deeply unsettling realization that forces viewers to confront a difficult question. When everyone knows a fragment of the truth but chooses silence, where does genuine accountability truly begin?
Footage of Sean Diddy Combs in the days leading up to his arrest in New York last September.
You want to put the stuff in my fanny pack?
The exclusive video obtained by Netflix shows Combs debating with his lawyers about strategy.
So they're saying it's his lawyers. How on earth did 50 Cent get a hold of footage of his lawyers? Now, one could say, isn't that privilege? How is this footage allowed? Now, you could also argue because someone's filming, there's other people there, you lose privilege. I've learned that in my appeals case. I have not filmed any of my legal meetings on purpose because if you film it, well, then it gives up your privilege in a way. So I'm assuming that's how they're getting away with this, because he's filming conversations with his lawyers, whether they knew or not. That footage, now that it's gotten in the wrong hands, or I guess different hands, isn't a longer privilege. I want to get a lawyer on to sort of confirm it, but I got to be honest, I'm kind of shocked. You'd think, well, this should all be included, should it not?
Listen to me. I'm gonna get off the phone right now, and I am going to let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution. No matter what, no matter what nobody said. Let's just here and there. Y'all are not working together the right way. We're losing.
The footage is.
Like, the way he's bossing around these high-powered lawyers is so revealing.
Part of a new, highly anticipated docuseries by director Alex Stapleton and rapper and executive producer.
Look at that smile. Look at that smile. Oh, he's loving this.
Jackson, titled Sean Combs, The Reckoning.
Was there anything that surprised you when you were watching?
I think it was surprising that he actually filmed it.
It was very interesting to watch a man who's known for his brand presence. You know, he has a really amazing knack for marketing and all of that, and how he was sort of taking that into account and how he was coming off to the public.
We knew that was coming, by the way, because we learned that throughout as he was using his own kids to post birthday messages and etc. Like, this guy wants to control everything.
The exclusive video also shows Combs in Harlem greeting fans.
He's like, oh yeah, look at all these. This was yeah, what's up? He thrives in this. This is when people recognize him. What up? Like, barely anybody there. He's like, yeah, everybody's here looking at me. He's like the quarterback that can never graduate, it feels like to me.
I need some hand sanitizer. Hold on. I got it. I've been out in the streets amongst the people. Yeah, I gotta take a bath.
I've been in the streets amongst people. I gotta take a bath. He's like horrified. He's disgusted by it.
Like the amount of people that actually I'm coming in contact with, like that's what I have to do.
A pivotal turning point emerges when speculation finally gives way to formal process. Rumor is replaced by legal filings, professional scrutiny, and methodical investigation, bringing long-absent structure and accountability to a story that had existed for years in uncertainty. The shift transforms the narrative from whispered suspicion into documented examination, marking the moment when unanswered questions begin to face genuine institutional review.
$, you know what I'm saying? You can sit here and tell me that you're gonna pay me for my time sitting right down here with y'all. You understand? So then, one thing led to another, and I was like, all right, well then, F you, I spoke to 50, and then she said 50, and this is exact words that came out her mouth. 50 does not determine what goes in and goes out of this documentary. And he definitely don't pay. He determine what somebody get paid. It's not his documentary like that. I was like, oh, so if it's not his documentary and I spoke to him like that, I don't need to be doing nothing with you, because I'm doing this on the strength of him. But you gonna pay me if I do it. So it went back and forth, you know what I'm saying, for a little bit, and then they had Kirk Burrows giving me calls and everything like that. What are you calling me for? You know what I'm saying? I'm not. Get out of here. I know what kind of dude you is anyway. Me and you cool and everything, Kirk, but don't call me about no business with this stuff like that. And then what I found out is that he was making a deal, cutting a deal for himself as well as Tim. You understand? And I was trying to get a deal for all three of us. You understand? So that's how them industry cats go. That's what they do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at it like this. So then he called me back again, and I told him, like, listen, don't you ever call my phone again, Kirk? You know what I'm saying? Because we had got into it about somebody calling him. He told me Groovy Lou called him and wanted to know why Gene's still doing this, the Puff and everything like that. And I mentioned it on the Gene Deal show. You understand? I said something. He called me back like I was lying. And listen to me, Kirk. Don't call me about what these clowns and these niggas say right here, bro. And especially don't call me talking about what I gotta fix, when in fact you know what you told me and you know what our conversation was. You know what I'm saying? So the whole thing about why I'm not in the thing, the lady was talking greasy to me. She had no right to talk greasy to me. And then she told me that 50 didn't have the power to do anything, but they using his name to like push the whole documentary. And that's what it was about. So that's why you don't see a cameo other than the pictures they used of me on the film in the documentary. I got like 3 or 4 pictures in the documentary that I've seen of myself. You know, some people say they saw more, but I know three different times where I was certain places and you could actually see me in the documentary, and that's the only thing you're gonna get. But the stories that they told in the documentary, bruh, come on. They could have went a whole lot deeper. They could have did a whole lot more. So I ain't in the documentary because that lady that was the director, I think, what's her name? Alex State.
The documentary carefully explores why so few voices were willing to speak out, revealing an environment where raising concerns often came with serious professional consequences, while silence protected careers, relationships, and status. Within this climate of caution, 50 Cent stands apart as an outlier, someone willing to face criticism and backlash in order to demand closer scrutiny. His stance is framed not as absolute certainty, but as a refusal to accept why accountability remained delayed for so long, transforming skepticism into a call for long overdue examination.
I usually leave these things to the end of my interviews, but I really gotta say, rest in peace, Aaron Carter. Yeah. You actually called me the other day to break the news to me. Mm-hmm. And this is someone that we both interviewed multiple times. I was shocked. How did you feel when you heard the news?
Yeah, I was definitely shocked. But at the same time, I mean, I had interviewed him, I think maybe like a week and a half before he passed. I'm not sure, but it came out 3 days before he passed.
Huh.
And when he came in that time, he definitely was not in a great mental state. Like I remember you saying that you hadn't interviewed him for like over a year before he passed. It was the same thing with me, where I was kind of interviewing him regularly, and then I didn't do it for a period of, I don't know, a year or two. And then I decided, like, okay, he hit me up. I'm like, let's do it. I want to see how you're doing, check in. Came in to do the interview. It wasn't great. You know, he was drinking lean. And
he was drinking lean in the interview?
I mean, he tried to deny it, but it was like super purple. He's got a double cup. I don't know what else it would have been. But, you know, he's just kind of like slurring his speech. And, you know, I heard that him and his girl broke up again like 2 days after we did the interview, because she was there, like posted up, like, and I guess they had been through this dramatic breakup. And some of the stuff that I was talking to him about was super depressing, like him having his kid taken away by the state or whatever. And, you know, at one point I'm trying to like tell him, like, you got to get your kid back, dude. Like, you can't be thinking about anything else. You got to just be focused on how to get your kid.
The film ultimately reframes courage, not as performance, but as risk, the true foundation of accountability. Here, speaking honestly is portrayed less as a path to recognition and more as an act of exposure, where truth carries personal cost. And when telling the truth places the messenger in danger, the documentary compels viewers to confront a far deeper question. What does that risk reveal about the system so carefully protected behind silence and power?
Good idea, right? Like, it doesn't really seem like he's in a state where he'd be able to
wait, I don't
take care
understand,
of a kid.
Well, okay, wait, but his girl was there with him.
Yeah.
So how did he get his kid taken away if he's with his girl still?
Well, I guess the kid got taken away from both of them.
From both of them?
And went to live with her grandma.
Oh.
Which, you know, and I don't know if his girl has issues or if it was 100% him causing the issues, but I guess it's like, I mean, he tried to blame it on the fans, like reporting abuse or like reporting him, saying that he's on drugs, saying all this, yada, yada. But they did get in a big fight at one point. And then I don't know exactly what happened after that, but it's like, you know, I was trying to like urge him to like really focus on getting his kid back. I can't imagine that if I was in his position, I'd be thinking about anything else. But, you know, he was really in the middle of his addiction and everything. And one thing I thought was interesting that's kind of gone unnoticed is that in that interview, he fully apologizes to his brother Nick, and said, because he had said many times that Nick was a rapist and Nick had done all this terrible shit to all these people and yada yada. And in the interview, he basically acknowledges, oh, I was taking somebody else's word for that. I don't actually believe that that's true, which I found really interesting. I'm like, so you were smearing him for all these years just because you believed one random person? I don't know. But then there was a clip that came out last night of Backstreet Boys' performance where his brother actually like broke down crying, talking about losing him and everything. And it's kind of crazy to see that, you know, where I'm sure Nick to a certain extent had felt sort of, you know, plagued by his brother and traumatized by having his brother like really trying to smear his career for all these years, saying all this terrible shit about him, and then to see him go before they were able to ever really reconcile. But I mean, Aaron, in my interview, was saying that he would like to reconcile with his brother. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, that is probably a ways away until there's gonna have to be some space between you having made all these accusations about him and him being able to accept you, but yeah, it's just a super sad.
In its closing moments, the film deliberately resists offering neat conclusions, refusing to deliver easy verdicts or reduce complex realities to simple answers. Instead, it exposes the persistent imbalance between fame and safety, access and oversight, speculation and verified record. Moving beyond the story of Aaron Carter, 50 Cent's documentary challenges viewers to reflect on what was allowed to unfold around him, and why figures such as Sean Diddy, Combs, and contextual references to Justin Bieber continue to surface within the same conversations about influence and authority. As the industry is finally compelled to confront itself, the film leaves audiences with a stark and unsettling question. Will meaningful reform follow, or will silence simply evolve into a more sophisticated disguise?